Hello, it's Friday and I should be doing some more work on the TMCC track signal issues today, but instead I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do some more scenery work because things are starting to look pretty good back there on the roads and stuff. I'll show you. And I want to go ahead and get this back area completed so I can start working my way forward and start working on some of the stuff that's actually something that's a little bit easier for folks to see. So one of my things is I'm actually doing a lot more detail on the back than what some might do, but because when we put a GoPro on the train and run it around the track, I want to make sure that the scenery looks as good in the back as it does in the front. So let's get to it. The area I'm going to be working on today is in the back here. You can see that I've already done some stuff. I have added the road. Let me get back there so I can actually show you exactly what that looks like now. It's turned out pretty good. So you can see the paved road I'm putting in here. I have a little bit more to go on the back side here, but what I've done is I've posted some pictures here on Facebook on how I've done this. All I did was I took some hydrocal, added some black paint to it, mixed it up, and put it down as my road. But to make these nice clean edges here, what I've done is I've added tape, masking tape there. And while I was laying down the road, and before the actual hydrocal was completely dry, and just as it started to get nice and firm, I pulled that tape right up, and look at that. Couldn't have done any better if I would have tried it any other way. So you can see how if I come over here, you can see the top side here, which is going to go into some kind of an industrial businessy area up here on the top side of the hill. And let's take a look over here. You can see that the road kind of travels right under the bridge there and right around the back. So it's coming right along. So today I think I'm going to focus on getting some scenery done back here. Eventually I'll clean this hill up here, give it a nice rocky look to it. That just means I'm going to have to get into that hydrocal again. Yippee. And then I'm also going to, I'm going to go ahead and add some foliage and clean this up back here also. Because like I say, when I have a train coming through here, I want to be looking at something that looks just as good back here as it does in the front. So yes, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is actually putting a base coat on the hills to kind of get the basically put something on there so that you're not seeing white through the grass. In large areas, what I'll use is say some primer like a Rust-Oleum, and also some camouflage here. Those seem to work really well in getting the colors that I'm looking for. And you can see how that's worked back here. It kind of turned out okay. So then I'll do some detail work with blending in colors, utilizing these inexpensive Walmart paints that I pick up, I think for like $1 maybe each or something like that. They have several different colors from green to whatever you need to mix in there. And usually what I'll do is I'll start with a base color of brown or green or something like that, and I'll add some black or something like that too, or some white to tint it up to give it that natural look I'm shooting for. And sometimes I have to do it more than once because it just doesn't quite turn out as well as I'd liked it color-wise. And then I'll use my best dollar store brush here to actually do the application here on the hillsides. And so here we go. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll add a little bit of tap water. This is tap water. The good stuff was already drank out of it. In my bowl here. Because I like to make the paints thin enough so that they actually get into all the cracks and the crevices, and I don't want to see any of that white stuff showing, but I don't want to actually cover up the details of some of the rock work I've done, so I thin it out quite a bit. Okay, I've got quite a bit of water in there now. Let's go ahead and use that, and let's take a look here. Let's start with let's go brown. I'll add a little bit of brown in here. Looks like I need to replace this one. And I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done here. Grab my, where'd that brush go? There it is. Grab my brush, kind of mix it up a little here. And it's starting to look like a really soupy brown. Let's go ahead and, oops, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of green to it, because I want this to look as natural as possible, but you know. And interesting, the one I grabbed by accident was gray. I don't even have a green up here, so I'll have to get some of that green added next time I do this. So it's coming right along. Let's take a look here. I want to get it a little bit darker, because in the crevices I want it to be dark, and then in the high spots I'll lighten it up to give it that depth. So let's add a little bit of this black to my brown and gray mixture here. Not too much, because black goes a long ways. There we go. And that's it. Uh-oh, can't really see it. And now I'll go ahead and apply it to the rocks over here. See how that looks. Now that is actually looking quite dark. I'm going to have to actually put some lighter colors on top of it to kind of bring it out big time. But I'll just try to get right up to the road there without destroying the road work that I did last week. Well, look at that. See, it's kind of blending right in there. Okay. Oh, it's looking good. And you'll see once I add some lighter colors to it, this whole side of the hill will kind of stand out. But I'll get right up to the bridge here. And as I'm squishing this down and crunching on it and getting all the color in there, you can see why any more than $1 for a paintbrush and you're wasting money, I would say, because this thing gets pretty destroyed quickly from taking on these rocks. But it is a little bit more difficult to get right up the edge right there with that. So need to make sure I don't cover that up, because that looks good. Let me see if I can get the other side of the road here without making too big of a mess. There we go. And then when I put gravel along the side of the road too, that's going to look pretty good, because none of the white's going to show through. Let's get in here and get up here. Hopefully my head's not in the picture there. Okay, this hill's looking pretty good now. But hey, we'll get this. Nothing too crazy. Ooh. Oh, got a little way. Oh, some of that stuff's splashing on my road. Don't want that. So I put the road in before I painted all this, for the most part, to clean it up. But yeah, once the I can always go back and touch up the road a little bit too. I might actually add some blemishes and spots, maybe a pothole or two, make it a normal road. Nothing's perfect out there. And let me see. Ooh, I'll get that there. No, look at that. Now that big white spot that I had right there has a pretty good start to looking a lot better than the way it did before. And for this one, what I took was I used some of my hydrocal that I had mixed up in another area, and I had extra, so I splattered it on here. And as it was drying, I took a spatula and carved some hills or some rocks into the side of it, some lines here you can see. Those will be a lot more prevalent once I add more of that lighter color. Let me see if I can get right up to the road here. Gotta leave room for foliage and stuff here. Not a problem. Can almost get right up there. I might have to get a different brush just to get a little closer to the road there, and that's one spot, because this one has seen some better days. It's getting not quite frayed. Now I'm going to go ahead and move to the other side here and get this stuff on the back side that nobody sees. I'll take some more of this paint that I've got mixed up here and get right up to the road. See how well I can get that without dirtying up my streets. Oh, look at that. Well, I tell you, this is where I don't know if I need to just trim the brush or just get a new one, because some of those bristles are getting away on me. Okay, it's looking better. Whew. Not as blinding as the white stuff that was there before. Let's get a coat on there. I might need a couple coats because this is thin, but I do like to make sure that it gets into all the cracks. Oh, look at that. Thought I vacuumed all that up the other day, and I still have some bits and pieces that need to be picked up. But I'm going to go ahead and line that in there. I'll add a little bit on the back side of the hill here. You can't really see it, but I'm going to make sure that all this white stuff is covered up. Oh, even down here in the area that I haven't completed yet with the texturing and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a head start with some of this paint. I'll get that in there. Look at that go. It's looking better already. Okay. Let me see if I can get a little closer to the road here without destroying it. Destroy all my handiwork there. Oh. Good. And I might put a little scene back here too while I'm at it sometime here. Oh, got a little spot over here that looks like I missed my rocks. Piece came off of my iron. I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. So the nice part about this being so thin is I get a drop on these bricks over here. I can just smooth it right out and nobody will notice. Except you guys. And here we go. Got this all colored in here, looking good. And all right. So next, I will go ahead and start adding more of the other colors. Let's even get it to look even more like a road. And I'm going to take and use some of this leftover stuff here I've got on my my bridge that I built out of just out of tongue compressors. And they'll kind of splash that on there and kind of give it a worn look. That actually looks pretty darn good. It's multi-purpose paint. Could use it for all kinds of stuff. Oh, got a spot up here I missed on the top of this bridge right here. Let's get all of this that I can, all in one shot. Ooh, ooh, and even back here, where the little guy's standing there watching the trains go by. Okay, looking good. And as I mentioned earlier, I might have to do a second coat, so I'll go ahead and do that now. It's had a moment to dry, and that's clearing that up. My goodness. Yeah! That got a little more paint on there than I hoped for. I might even be able to clean some of that up with a little bit of a sponge too, just to get it off of the road. Even though some of those spots actually I think look pretty good, because like I say, I wouldn't mind a pothole or two, but yeah, I'll have to give that a try. So looking good. A little bit more over here and we're set. Okay, well, now I've emptied out my bowl of all the dark stuff. Well, I didn't clean it up too well, but let's go ahead and add some more water. This time I'm going to go with a lighter gray color, and I'm going to just add a little bit of water. I don't want to get, I'm not going to use as much, so I'm not going to make as much. Okay, where's my gray? Here we have Granite Gray, my $1 paint from Walmart. I'll go ahead and add a little bit of that in here to the water mix there. And this time I did go ahead and wash out my brush so that I wouldn't be competing with the black that was there earlier. And let's see, that looks pretty thin. That might do it. So now I'm going to take almost all the paint out of my brush. I'm going to just wipe that thing clean, and then I'll hit it, get it on the rocks here. Just a moment. Okay, now you can see that, let me once again make sure that I've got almost all that paint off this brush here. I don't want to completely blow away everything I just put on there with all the dark stuff. Oh, I can just take and go. I'm just gonna kind of lightly, very lightly scrape up that, and now you can start to see the details coming out in the rocks. Whoa, don't want any of that on the bridge. Okay, so look at that. You can see that that has made a little bit of difference. It's looking better. I'll go ahead and touch up any of the rocks that are around here, and I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on my hillside over here too while I'm at it. And I'm obviously going to have way more mixed up here than I'll ever use, so I'll try not to waste it though. So that's looking good. Make sure I get all those little high spots. I'm just getting it on the high spots. I'm not going too crazy with it. And I think I can probably get some on the back side here too while I'm at it. That's not visible with the camera, but I will pick up the camera and show you here in a moment here what I just did. And oh, there we go. Some of that along there. Looking good. Cool. That's great. That's giving us a little more depth along here. And I think I actually put a little too much on here. What do you know? So I'll come back in here with even a lighter color to even bring those bumpy spots out even further. So let's go ahead and mix up another batch. Oh, I'd see if I have myself another cup here. Just a moment. For this one, I'm using the Territorial Beige. I don't know if you can see that. It's the another one of those great Walmart finds. So get my cup here, and I'm going to grab a another clean brush. I always keep a couple handy, and so I'm not climbing in and out all the time. I'll add some water to that. I'm going to make this one really thin because it's basically just going to be highlighting just the very tops of those rocks. I don't want to cover up all my fancy work that I've done underneath. Oh, see, I gotta be very careful with not going too crazy and covering everything up with this. It can happen fast. But if you can see, it's starting to really show some detail here, and kind of get in there. I've got some down here I can get also. That's where a not so stiff brush would be handy. Let me get that down there. I'm going to purposely cover up a couple light spots here because it's just want it to look as natural as possible. And so not bad for just a little bit of leftover hydrocal. It's actually starting to take some shape here. Look like something that's supposed to wasn't man-made. That's the deal, is I'm trying to not make it look like something that I purposely put there. I want it to look something just like the rocks have been falling down that hill for years now. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of what I've got left here. Now, once again, made way too much. I will go ahead and now let that dry for a moment and start adding some more, adding some foliage details and stuff. One of my favorite parts, because then it really starts to take shape. So there we go. For this next step, what I use to hold everything down is a white glue that's been watered down big time. I put it in here. This is another one of those great dollar store finds. And to be able to use it every time I go back to needing it after not using it for a couple days, every time I'm done with this, I actually pull this out and I run water through the line. I just squeeze it a few times so I know that water has traveled all the way through it and it's not going to lock up on me the next time I need to use it. I have my sieve here for spreading some turf. I usually start with a little bit of blended turf, woodland scenics, some coarse turf in some other areas, some clump foliage, and as you can see, I pretty much throw anything at it that I can get. I've added some woodland scenics, clump foliage again, several different things I've used to kind of blend it in. And the one thing about this is if I've got several bags of this stuff to use, it goes a long ways because I'm not using all of it in one spot. I'm kind of just spreading it out just to try to make it look as natural as possible. And I probably have enough here to finish the layout. And also, when I get a chance here, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple trees too, to kind of make it look a little better. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Oops, right back here. Okay, so what I'm doing now is in the areas where I want to put the blended turf, I'm going to go ahead and spray this down with a little bit of this glue that I've watered down. I should have covered up the track. Looks like I got to remember to hit that, wipe that off later. And I'm going to run a little bit down the side of the road here. Spray that in there. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get some on the side of the road here too. If I was ready, I would have a piece of cardboard or something to keep from getting glue on my road. So let's see here. Spray that in there. And we'll get this all sprayed through here. So I want this all covered up. Get it in there. And that'll look nice when I'm done. Ooh, sticky. Okay. Now let's grab the sieve. And put this on here. And then, like I say, a little bit of this stuff goes a long ways. So I'm going to just sprinkle that over there. Well, there we go. Let's give it a good shake. That'll go faster. Whoa. I'll clean off the road here in a moment. And then I've unfortunately got areas that are going to be a little bit tighter to get to. Under the bridge. Oh, look at this. It's going crazy. That's looking good. Let's get along the side of the road over here. I'm going to sprinkle it on my hand so I can spread it out. Just get that in there. The best part about this is it's a train layout. It does not have to be perfect. I'm shooting for realism, but heck, you know, at the end of the day, it's whatever you're satisfied with is what counts. So I've got that in there. That's looking good going down in there. Now, let me see. I'd like to get some more under here, under the bridge, because I'm going to be adding some more stuff to this, but I definitely want to get it. That went out of control. Okay, get this in here. That's looking better already. Okay, and this looks like I've got some stuff to suck up with a vacuum later. There we go. Make sure I get all these spots covered that I want to cover. That's looking good. And I'll put the rest of this extra stuff here back in its little container. Or at least try. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in there where it belongs. Now the next step, let's go ahead and close this up. Get that out of the way. And then I'll be able to sweep all this off the road too once I'm done here. Now let's go ahead and, oh, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and go with a little bit coarser turf. I'm going to shove some of this in some of the cracks in the hillside here just to kind of give it a little more greenish look along the road here. And it's looking like I'm going to have to give it a little more glue to hold it in place. Let's go ahead and shove that in here. And I also have this great Ryobi glue gun that I purchased. Got it on sale for $9. Already had the batteries to use with all my other tools, so that was good to go. Let's go ahead and put some more clump foliage in spots. Uh-oh. And I wonder... Okay. Oh! Got a fresh battery for my Ryobi $9 glue gun. It was great because I have the batteries that I use with all my other tools, so all I needed was the gun. Saved a lot of money there. So I'm going to take and go ahead and add some of these other shrubbery details to this area here. I think I'm going to put something up here. I'll use hot glue for the bigger stuff. Holds much better. Put something in there like that. Kind of cover up that area. Get this out of the way. And I've got another piece I'll put right here. Good stuff. Wow, the one thing I don't like about this is it gets the glue super hot. So I'm covered in it drips out of the gun here and makes these little cobwebs, glue cobwebs everywhere. I'm going to use some of this, what is it, clump foliage in some more areas. I'll put some of that. Oh, let me see. I think I'll put this right on the bottom here. Put some glue in here. Get a little. I'll just make a little natural look here along the rocks. Not gonna go too crazy. Okay, cools off fast. So let's get this clump on there real quick, like. Oh, man, that's hot. That is some hot stuff. Get that all pushed in there like so. I like that. There. Oh, hear the doggy outside the door there trying to get in. Okay. Then I'm going to add a little bit larger piece. Now, unfortunately, I can hardly get the gun in here for this one. It's around the base of the bridge. I'll put some more of this. I think I'll stick with a smaller clump foliage. Save the big stuff for some of the other areas. Put that around the base of the bridge support. It's looking good. And then I'll put some larger shrubbery down here. Get some more glue up here, get that up there. Won't be able to see too much of that while. Where's that? I'm going to go with something like this. Fill that in. And I'll get a close-up shot of that here when I'm done, just to show you how that turned out. It's a little bit loose. What I might do is hit it with some of my glue once I'm done here to hold it in place. I like how that's looking. There we go. Give it a little more support. That'll dry up and you won't even see it. It'll do a good job, but it'll hold it in place. And let's take a look here. Let's put some stuff on this side of the road over here. Let me see, I'm going to put a bush right here. Ooh. And I know I brought some up here. There they are. I got some really bright stuff here. I don't know what that would be considered in real life, but that is bright. Get that there. And thought I brought some lichen with me, but I don't see my lichen, so oh, here it is. Yes, I am gonna surround the base of this end of the trestle with some, or the support with some lichen, whether lichen or not. There we go. Ooh. There we go. I'm gonna just put that around there. See how that turns out. Oh, put that around there. Go ahead. Have the glue gun in the way there. Okay, let's take a look here. Where do I want some more of this? I'm gonna put another little bush on this edge of the road right here. And on that one I'll use another piece of lichen. I don't want to use my big one. Get a small piece here, kind of hang it off the edge of the cliff. That'll look good. Use a spot more of blue here. There we have it. And, oh, boy, that's hot. That's what I don't think a normal glue gun gets this hot. Wow. So I've got the bushes on the sides here, some stuff in the back, and let's take a look at the colors I've got left here. I think I might think I might leave it at that for the moment until I decide what else I want to do to this area, but I think for the moment it's looking pretty good. Don't want to overdo it, and I can always go back and change it if I need to. Swipe off the little bit that's on the road there, and let's get a picture of that and show you how that turned out. Prior to this starting, it was white and the sides of the roads were white and everything kind of was under construction. This is looking much better. So here we go. Let's go ahead and... So there you have it. Just in that little bit of time there, I was able to make my plaster or Paris looking hydrocal area look a little more like a natural road. So I think that's going to do it for now. And next is I should probably get back to my wiring problems. So thanks for watching, and we'll take it from there.